For centuries, there has been a conflict about sexuality and religion, and whether or not they should be considered mutually exclusive. The majority of religious denominations have belief systems that vary in range from small forgivable sins to the ones considered an abomination and will land you a first-class seat to hell. With these viewpoints creating the foundation for one's religious beliefs, an individual whose preferences that seem to fall out of God's favor will be willing to do anything to maintain their secrets, even willing to commit the worst sin of all to ensure that no one finds out. Hello, my name is Zamina, and welcome back to another episode of Crime Addicts. In today's video, I will be talking about the case of Pastor Albert Weathers, who viciously murdered trans woman Kelly Stough in 2018. But first, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so you'll know when I post a new video. Also follow Crime Addicts on TikTok and Instagram, where I only cover cases that I have not discussed on my YouTube channel. Okay, now let's get back to the video. At 6 a.m. on December 7, 2018, a motorist placed a 911 call stating that he saw a woman being thrown from a vehicle on East McNichols Road between Brush and O'Meara on Detroit's east side. The witness, Eddie Neil Price, will later testify in court, saying that once the woman was on the ground, he could see her holding a cell phone in her hand. He saw the driver of the car exit the vehicle, walk over to the victim and snatch the phone from their hand, then get back in the car and drive away. It will later turn out that the victim was 35-year-old Kiana Mattel, who also went by the name Kelly Stough. She had been shot in her left underarm and left in the street to die. As a kid growing up in the city of Detroit, Kelly faced many challenges. Besides being plagued with all of the violence and poverty that is a staple in most urban neighborhoods, Kelly, who was born a male, will often be bullied for her behaviors as a child. Even though she was often an easy target because of her feminine mannerisms, Kelly braved through it while always maintaining a positive spirit and a sunny disposition. She graduated from McKenzie High School and attended college at the University of South Dakota on a football scholarship. Eventually, she decided she would rather pursue fashion and left USD and enrolled in the International Academy of Technology and Design. Soon afterwards, she began the process of transitioning into a woman. As years passed, Kelly became an activist within the trans community and was also a part of Detroit's ballroom scene as a member of the legendary iconic House of Ebony. Although Kelly had worked at several places, the job she had did not pay a livable wage, so she began to engage in sex work. 3 years prior to her death, Kelly was interviewed in a 2015 story by The Guardian under the alias Kiana Mattel. She spoke about a transgender woman who was also a neighborhood friend that was murdered. She brought awareness to the discrimination that the trans community receives from local law enforcement in Detroit. She was quoted as saying, "The police are unaware with our struggle, so they have no sympathy for us. Nobody ever asked, What happened to that person to get here? After her untimely death, members of the trans and ballroom scene mourned Kelly, her death being another all too familiar scenario amongst people within the community, who often are victims of violent crimes, all because of who they are. A GoFundMe was created by Kelly's cousin and ended up surpassing the original $4,000 goal. Kelly was laid to rest on December 15, 2018. Kelly's mother, Jessica Williams Stough, did an interview after the murder of her daughter and spoke out on SiriusXM's The Clay Kane Show. She pleaded for people to see transgender people as human. She stated, "Respect people and one another. Just because they are LGBTQ does not mean that these individuals are throwaways or that no one cares about them. They are people who are loved. They have mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers. They are not people that nobody wants, and they shouldn't be treated as such. Just leave the fear alone. There's nothing wrong with them. Just respect them. They are people. Reach out, talk, have a conversation, have a dialogue. Get an understanding first before you start to judge and be mean. It's not necessary." Pastor Albert Weathers, also known as Pastor Tank, was born in Pensacola, Florida, and moved with his mother to Rockford, Illinois in 1984. He joined Job Corps after dropping out of high school, but ended up getting kicked out and joined the Chicago gang, the Gangsta Disciples. After years of selling drugs and having a career in the street life, Albert decided to end his affiliations with the gang and began to devote his life to God and his ministry. In his late 20s, he began to minister in local jails by providing counseling sessions, classes, and acting as a mentor to the prisoners. He got married and had 2 children and was extremely involved in his local church. By 2010, he started his own fellowship called No Cross, No Crown in his home, and eventually rented out a space at an area church facility. In 2015, Pastor Albert was featured in an article in the Rockford Register-Star discussing how he was helping to build character in incarcerated men. But by December of 2018, he was arrested and charged with open murder and use of a firearm and commission of a felony. The events that transpired on that early December morning may not ever be 100% revealed. But what we do know is after Albert shot Kelly, he went home, got washed and dressed, and then went to his security guard job at the Great Lakes Water Authority. He then contacted police to say that he shot Kelly after she jumped in his car and demanded that he give her some money. He said that when he asked her to leave, she pulled out a sharp metal object, so he shot her. We also know that he changed this version of events during his police interrogation and said that the .40 caliber Glock accidentally discharged during a tussle where Kelly told him to shoot her. In addition, Albert said he was in the West McNichols and Brush area, a well-known location for prostitutes, to look for a marathon station because he liked to purchase a certain grade of gasoline. Whereas Kyra Butts, a trans woman who also did sex work alongside Kelly, testified that Albert frequented the area looking to pick up a girl and had even engaged in numerous encounters with herself and other trans women. She went on to say that she stopped accepting hookups with Albert because he would always try and change the agreed upon price after hooking up, and his attitude was aggressive and very intimidating. During his arraignment, Albert's defense attorneys pushed for his $1 million bond to be reduced, but the judge denied the request due to how Albert left Kelly after shooting her. The judge went on to say Albert's actions were that of a sociopath, a person who has no heart and no soul. However, for unknown reasons, Albert would eventually be released on bond and remains out to this day, continuing to preach at his church. The pandemic and other circumstances have caused the trial to continue to be delayed. For instance, in September of 2019, a Wayne County Circuit Court judge, Tracy Green, voluntarily agreed to remove herself from Albert's murder trial because of some actions on her part that could be seen as biased in the case. Apparently, Judge Green made a contribution to a church fund for Albert Weathers' wife and daughter to keep them in their home while the defendant was locked up in jail, awaiting trial on the murder charges against him. She also admitted to attending the fundraiser, but said that these events happened prior to her being randomly assigned to Albert's case. It's a miscarriage of justice that Kelly's friends and family have to endure the pain of her loss while her killer remains free to live his life. Throughout everything, the people that love Kelly continue to remain hopeful that in the near future, they will be able to receive retribution for this callous murder. As of July of 2021, 2.5 years after Kelly's murder, Pastor Albert Weathers still has no trial date. If you made it this far, thank you for listening to this video and watching it. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. I normally don't cover cases that don't have a verdict or some type of closure at the end, but I just really felt compelled to write about Kelly's story when I read it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to keep you updated. I'm going to, keep my eyes close to the trial when there is an official trial date, and I'll let you know. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys at the next one. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.